Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So Elon Musk officially purchased Twitter. He paid $44 billion for a platform that's losing money. And here was my reaction initially when I saw everybody freaking out about this online.
Everybody go back to your seats.
Okay. Seriously, everyone needs to take a beat. Okay, everybody needs to wait, see how this shakes out. And I'm not a big Musk fan, but I do agree with his sentiments on free speech. But it remains to be seen what his real agenda is, because why would someone with more money than God care to purchase a social media network that's losing money, by the way, unless he intends to use it for his own personal gain and advantage? Marshall Koslov, he's the co-host of the Realignment podcast. He made a really excellent observation that essentially Musk is trying to buy his own media outlet, kind of like Bezos did with the Washington Post. And even though Twitter isn't a traditional form of media, it isn't a news outlet, it does play a very outsized role in the DC ecosystem. And the messaging that gets pushed by mainstream media, and then ultimately what lawmakers and the elite tend to focus on. And here's the thing that made me smile and why we should all just enjoy this for a moment. The right learned a very good lesson of be careful what you wish for with their support for Musk and his takeover of Twitter. Because as I knew would happen, Trump's already failing social media platform, Truth Social, took another big hit in value as soon as this news broke. The value of the stock that's tied to Trump's social media network, so to speak, dropped again. It had already dropped in value, but it dropped by 13% this time. And that was inevitable with Musk's takeover, because the impetus behind the creation of these alternative sites like Truth Social and Getter and Gab, or, free frank speech by Looney Lindell, it was the removal of Trump and others from Twitter and then censorship. So if all of that is gone, if Musk is saying, I'm not going to censor anyone, and then he reinstates people like Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene and others, then those other sites are made obsolete. They're totally useless. Because let's face it, those other platforms have never reached and will never reach the level of success of Twitter. And I don't mean financially. I just mean that as far as user base goes, because they're all just a giant echo chamber. People say that about Twitter, but it's not true. There's virtually zero dissenting opinions and information shared on those other platforms, because no one on the left cares to engage with the hardcore MAGA election denying right wingers. Except for a few lefty shit stirrers who just like to light a match and then watch the right explode, no left winger or even a traditional Republican is going to switch from Twitter to Getter or Truth Social. It's just not going to happen. So Trump is now trying to do damage control. He claimed in a Fox interview that even if Musk decides to reinstate his account, he's not going to go back on Twitter. As with everything else that comes out of his mouth, it's complete bullshit. I think he's still hoping that his own, social media, quote unquote, network is going to succeed. But if it fails, he is absolutely going to be back on Twitter, especially if he decides he's going to run for president. And then you've got Jason Miller out there who started Getter. He's trying to do his own damage control, saying, oh yeah, this is no big deal. This whole Musk thing with Twitter, this doesn't affect me at all. It's such BS. And here's the thing, guys, we should want Trump and all of these other right wingers on Twitter for many reasons. First and foremost, censorship is a red line that we shouldn't cross, with very few exceptions, right? If it incites violence, if it has to do with abuse of a person or an animal, or if it's like ISIS videos of them beheading someone, of course, that should not be allowed. But unchecked censorship comes for all of us. At some point, it comes for all of us. And we should not grant such massive authority and power to any one person or company. It is a slippery slope. If you guys have been around on my show for more than a month, you know what happened to me in March. You know that YouTube wouldn't allow me to post for 5 days because of a lie that someone told about one of my videos. They didn't even bother to check first. They just told me I was suspended. So today, it could be a company that you're politically aligned with. But as we see now with this buyout of Twitter, that can change at any moment. So, do you really want a right-wing, autocratic-minded tech oligarch making decisions about what you and I can and can't share online? Because that's the reality of what could happen. And based on principle alone, we should not try to limit freedom of speech, even if we don't agree with it. And we need to keep in mind, too, that federal prosecutors wouldn't have a fraction of the evidence that they currently have against the January 6th defendants if those people weren't allowed on social media sites that we could all access. So give them plenty of rope. Let them hang themselves. So let's all take a breath. Everybody go back to your seats because I think overall this is a positive development. I could be wrong, but it's very rare. So I'll let you guys know if I hear any more. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.